Welcome to SerialTek. My name is Heath Fields, and in this video we'll show you how to modify the address on your PC to correct an incompatibility with a SerialTek analyzer or error injector jammer. So here are some terms used in this video. To review, please pause here. It's important to note that some expertise in information technology is truly required. The burden of appropriate and correct Ethernet network setup definitely rests on the user and with the user's IT department. Also worth noting is that standard Ethernet cables are the only Ethernet cables that are compatible with any SerialTek product. Crossover cables are never used or indicated. It's extremely important to note that we do not support wireless and that the behavior of SerialTek software and hardware when wireless is used or enabled on a PC running the BusExpert software is undefined. Next, we emphasize that the PC must adapt to the analyzer. It's important that the network or that the PC be configured to support the requirements of the SerialTek software and hardware. Next, we note that the analyzer or jammer netmask is hard-coded to 255.0.0.0. It's extremely important that the implications of this netmask are understood by the person that is setting up the network to support the SerialTek product. If the meaning or the implications of this netmask are not well understood, please contact your IT department or SerialTek support and we'll help point you in the right direction. If a network is set up that is not compatible with a netmask of 255.0.0.0, not only is the behavior of the SerialTek product line undefined, it can even result in an analyzer becoming unusable. The most common case of this is when IP addresses are manually assigned that fall within the same range as those assigned by a DHCP server. Again, this is something that should be avoided because it's incompatible with standard IT practice as well as with SerialTek's products. The steps at a glance for changing the PC IP settings. We need to get to the network and sharing center, and there are several different ways of doing this. I'll outline two. From there, we need to get to the different adapters, select Ethernet. Within Ethernet, select the TCP/IP version 4 properties, modify those settings, and then be sure to save and apply those changes as you back out. So first, opening the network and sharing center. In standard Windows 10 and Windows 7 implementations, there's an icon on the bottom left for all the network settings for the PC. Just right-click on that icon and then select Open Network and Sharing Center. This is the most common way to access the network and sharing center. An alternative is to, while holding down the Windows key, press the pause or break key on the keyboard, which gets you to the system screen. From there, you can select the control panel home, and then as long as the view by is set to small icons or large icons, you can then scroll down and select network and sharing center. So these two methods are equal and equivalent alternatives. Once you've reached the network and sharing center, on the left you click Change Adapter Settings. This will display all adapters currently present on your system. Select Ethernet by double-clicking. In the Ethernet properties, double-click on Internet Protocol version 4. And within the TCP/IP version 4 properties, you need to make sure to change from use the following IP address here to obtain an IP address automatically. This tells the PC to stop using the static IP address and begin using an address assigned by the DHCP server. Once you've made that selection, though, the change is not complete. In order for the change to take effect, you have to close out of at least those last two windows to cause those changes to take effect. So let's go ahead to my live setup. We see that this analyzer is not selectable. The radio button has been filled in with a red X or a white X on red background, and we see that the OK button has been grayed out. Also, if you're paying careful attention, you'll notice that this line is not highlighted blue, which is usually what happens when you have one default analyzer or jammer to select from on the selected device screen. Now, once we see that we cannot select the analyzer, we can go over here to the information icon on the right and click on it to get some information about why we cannot use this analyzer at this time. So we can see a lot of error messages, but one that stands out, it says that there's a communication error. This means that there's a communication error between the PC running Bus Expert software and the analyzer itself. So immediately that should draw our attention to this connection line, which says that our connection type is Ethernet. It lists the IP address and then says that the address is DHCP. In other words, was assigned by a DHCP server. So the most common reason for getting this kind of message is if the IP address on the PC is static or was not assigned by the DHCP server, and therefore the PC is not on the same network. So again, we go down, we right click on the networking icon, click Open Networking Sharing Center, click Change Adapter Settings, click on Ethernet, click on Properties, and finally double click on TCP/IP version 4, where we find that sure enough the PC is using a static IP address, and you can see that the IP address is not compatible with that being used by the analyzer. If we click then on Obtain an IP address automatically, we tell the PC to obtain an IP address from the DHCP server and ignore or stop using the static IP address. Again, for that change to take effect, we click OK here, and we click OK under Ethernet properties. Now we see that the Ethernet properties have changed. We can close out of these windows. We see that the PC is now back on the network. And if we were to wait approximately 1 minute, this selected device screen would update, and you would be able to select the analyzer. To expedite this process, we'll go ahead and close software and then open software again. Software then opens, and you can see that immediately the analyzer is present, the status of the analyzer is ready, and we can see the license and all the features and permissions that are granted to this particular box. We select, and after waiting a moment, we see that the analyzer we're in. We've locked the analyzer for our own use, and we're able to start capture, use the analyzer normally. We appreciate your attention and hope you found this video helpful. For further information, please contact SerialTek support. Thank you.